My name is Bill Armstrong, camera and measurement. In this video today, we're going to assemble and adjust a Liquip Velvet Touch Mark II bottom loading arm. It's a twin gas strut loading arm. The loading arm is going to arrive at your terminal like this. This is one single loading arm on this pallet. In it, you're going to receive an installation manual. In the video today, everything we go through is contained in the installation manual. It's very simple. On page 9 is a picture of what the installed loading arm looks like, and that's going to be our guideline as we put this together today. Okay, we bolted the sections of the arm together on the ground just because it's easier to work on the ground than it is up in the air. This counterbalance assembly, we haven't done anything to it yet. We just took it out of the box. Then you got your horizontal pipe, and we bolted that to the apex swivel or the intermediate swivel. And you'll notice that the boss on the one swivel half is pointing straight out. Then we've got our drop section all bolted together. We've got our flexible drop hose, our coupler swivel. In this case, we have a butterfly valve, a coupler spool, a sight glass, and finally our coupler. Now we'll raise the pieces one by one and bolt them together on top of the riser. Alright, you want to make sure you got the correct strut combination for the size and weight of the arm. On this arm today, we're going to use two 2800 Newton struts. They can be identified because the force is printed on the strut, but a 2800 Newton strut has a black leather boot. There's another strut stronger with a dark green leather boot. Also, be sure that the red arrow is pointing up. That's important for the correct internal lubrication of the strut. Sliding it on the top pin, bottom pin. Okay, I've got one. All rested to do the other. Okay, we got the first strut on. And there's washers and split pins holding it top and bottom. I'm going to put the second strut on. Washers and split pins top and bottom. Okay, both struts are on. This part of the assembly is finished. You might think, put these struts on the ground, but we've waited till we got the counterbalance up, just because we don't want to damage the struts while we're raising it and mounting it up here. If the counterbalance assembly was swinging or something, you don't want any dings in the shaft of the gas spring, just like you wouldn't want a ding in a hydraulic strut. Okay, as you can see, we've completed the assembly of the arm. It's all bolted up together. We're going to fill it with liquid, and then we'll have the adjustment step. You can't adjust it until the arm is completely full of liquid, so we're going to do that and make sure all the air is out of it, and then we'll set the adjustments. Okay, our arm is full of liquid, all the air is out of it, and as you might be able to notice, it's a little bit low. It's maybe 3 or 4 degrees pointing downward. So we're going to have to take the weight off the arm and do a final adjustment because we want the horizontal pipe to be horizontal. Okay, we've taken most of the weight off of the arm. We can turn it very easily now. You shouldn't be having to pull on the wrench. We don't want the adjusting screw to have to work too hard. But I've set it to where I think it'll be level. Now we'll let it down and check it. Okay, we've got our arm adjusted. You can see that the primary pipe is now horizontal. So the top pivot is set where we want it. Now I'm going to just lock. There's a couple of nylock half nuts here. I'm going to lock the pivot into position so it won't move. I want to point out one thing. If you ever get into the last inch of this adjustment here, pay attention. There's a possibility of the inner strut contacting across on this casting and you can damage the strut. So be very careful when you get out to the last inch of the adjustment here. One of the last steps in installing your arm is to set the up and down stops. These are the two bolts here on this block. The short bolt is the up stop. And we don't have an overhead height problem here. There's no overhead restrictions. I'm just going to run that bolt all the way in and set the lock pattern. But if you did have a light hanging from a canopy overhead that you didn't want to foul on, that bolt is useful in limiting the upward travel. This long bolt goes through the flange, and that's your down stop. I'm going to wind it in. We've got the coupler held 12 inches off the driveway. I'm going to wind the long bolt in until the head of it contacts that flange. And then I'm going to set the lock nut. This down stop is basically here as a fall arrestor. In the unlikely event that both of the gas struts failed simultaneously, you just don't want the whole loading arm crashing to the ground. All the adjustments are now complete. Before we put the arm into use, we want to grease it. There's 4 swivel joints that all need to be greased. There's a grease zerk fitting on one side and a grease relief on the other. The factory instructions say to pump grease in until clean grease exits the grease relief fitting on the other side. Do that on all 4 swivels. Okay, now I'm going to stow the arm on this parking stand. And if your terminal, if it's the first time that you're using Liquip self-latching couplers, we have these signs available. Put them where the drivers will see them. It'll make coupling and getting used to the new coupler easier for them.